and welcome to today's Now Debate. The last Now Debate was done by Richard and his daughter, but today we are here and we are going to discuss something that's been not directly affecting things like the paranormal, but does kind of fit into the kind of a similar sort of thread. So we thought we'd cover it on the channel and talk about it. The woes, trials, and tribulations of Mr. Alex Jones, and what's been happening with him on Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Apple, and several other platforms that he has roughly about a day and a half ago now, probably 2 days as this goes out, because this will be going out on Thursday. Basically, he has been collectively banned. So what it looks like has happened is there has been a collective, almost, on behalf of several tech and social media giants, a collective effort to silence or ban Alex Jones from presenting his InfoWars show, which he presents his different sort of conspiracy theories, different research, and blah, 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 of what he feels is the state of affairs of the world going on at the moment. And the topic of today's discussion is not so much to do with whether you like Alex Jones or don't like Alex Jones. I'm sure that myself and Richard, by the way, there's Richard, you can see him, he'll be on the left hand side of your screen.
Hi guys.
And so basically it's just to talk about whether or not, or what this means for the wider scale of things. And is this something that factors into the research that we've been doing, and basically how this factors into just free speech in general. So I've got a couple of articles that I'll probably read as we go along this Now Debate, but just wanted you to chime in on this, Rich. What is your you're very, very dark, my friend. You've kind of gone into
I put it on I put the phone on my tripod. I think it's a bit, it does that weird thing when the background's
that's better,
right?
That's
Yeah,
better.
It does a weird thing when the background's bright. It does.
Right, I see. So what's, obviously you've had a look at it as well. What's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on Alex Jones, and what's your thoughts on what has happened?
Well, for starters, I'll just say about Alex Jones. Once upon a time, I used to really like the guy. Okay?
Yeah.
He used to stand for something. I used to really believe that. I think this guy stands for something. And he's really trying to make things better, and he's trying to expose the truth. Now, and it's part of me, he sees this. I really think, sir, Alex, if you watch this, you are a cop-out and a salesman, and you have become the very thing you swore you would stand against. And
very strong words.
Well, I mean, if you watch his show, he has moments where it's almost like he's trying to sabotage himself.
Yeah. With
his antics and his outbursts and his nonsense. And now he's blaming China for everything, because I think he's just genuinely run out of people to blame. He's selling products on his show which are just, it's just sublime. I mean, he's selling cod liver oil because, you know, he wants to enlighten people and he wants to wake their minds up. And he's saying it's the best product there is on the market. He has become the thing that he strives to save us from. And that makes him worse.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it just so happens he's been banned of all these social media sites literally within the same week that he brings out the InfoWars app. Literally, it's like he's promoting the app now. You can have an app now where you get InfoWars information. It's a free app, apparently.
Great.
But it just seems it's a bit of a conspiracy in itself. See if he wants to talk about it, Alex. Then to do his own show on his own show. That'd be interesting. I'd watch that. So he's let us down. I think he's definitely sold out. I mean, the stuff he's going on about going to Trump for this and going to Trump for that, and
Well, he's basically
I'm
calling him the second coming of George Washington, essentially.
no, no. I mean, what? Once upon a time, I might have believed it. Once upon a time, I might have actually believed that that could be the case. We all need money, right? This is a
Yeah,
world made of money.
yeah,
Everything we do revolves around money, right?
yes,
It's what makes the world run.
yeah,
Now, I would probably, right, if I could grow, say, cannabis, for instance, and sell it to my mates, right, to make money, I would probably genuinely, if I could be something where it's involved in sex and I can make money, I'm only hurting myself, but never, ever would I sell myself out.
yeah, exactly.
Would I become the thing I fought against? I would never. I've lost jobs, which I am desperate for the principle.
Yeah.
For the principle of that's all I have is my principles.
Well, you
I
get
have done it.
there's certain people that make that argument with psychics. It's like we are going to be launching services on our website, and we're going to be looking at different things that are sort of premium content. But the
Yeah.
difference is that you keep a balance. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love to work and help people develop for free, but the
Yeah.
difficulty is the fact that you need money to live, and you can't
Yeah.
sort of go and work at a factory or an office somewhere and do this in your spare time, because literally it would consume you, and you
Well,
need
well,
a
let's be
balance.
true.
I got no
Yeah.
problem in selling products or anything like that. What I don't like is the way he kind of peddles it, in a sense where it's like as if you don't buy it, it's basically the end of the world as you know it, or
It's if you,
anything
if
like
you buy
that.
it if you buy it off him, it's better than buying it off them.
Yes.
Right? Now, we've got this webpage, Jar, right? And the truth is, we would love to have 1 million subscribers and make money. But if I said to you, what do we want to make money for? I know your answer before you can answer it. It
Yes.
is to improve the way we look at the paranormal,
Yes.
to improve the way we investigate it, to improve, yeah, it would improve our lives. But we are just putting this information out there because we think it's important for people to see.
Yeah.
Right? And we might
Exactly.
sell products for the same reason. We might sell products because we want to improve the page, we want to improve our investigations, and we want to get better equipment to put more science into it and come up with more ideas. But it's not selling yourself out like
No.
he has been selling himself out.
It's actually the way that you give value to it, and this is one
Yeah.
of the lessons I've actually learned from Spirit, is that when you do have to have the exchange, it doesn't always have to be money. This is the thing.
No.
It's the fact that it's the exchange that is important. What are you
Yeah.
getting value for? And I don't mean like value for money. It's the fact that like there's in any sort of friendship, in any sort of relationship, in any sort of connection we humans have in general, there has to be value, because this is the thing. It's like when I run Spiritual Worlds, we did the free readings every Sunday. It got to a point where I was just getting swamped with people asking for free readings, and it was the fact, because there was no value to it, it wasn't being respected by
Yeah.
myself or anyone else. If I didn't respect what I was doing, then I wasn't valuing it, so I'm projecting that out to the audience and saying, well, if I don't value in it, I can't expect you to value it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's the thing.
Yeah.
To get into this now, apparently he was banned from YouTube for circumventing a ban on live streaming when he was using other channels, according to it's a news article. I'll put a link in the description below, and you have these websites have collectively come together and said, right, we don't want you on our platform. Now, the main question that people are asking, which is what I kind of wanted to discuss today, is that an infringement on free speech? Now, because there's two sides of the argument here. There is the side of the argument that social media has become almost the way, almost like the town centre or the pub, or it's become the way in which we interact with an audience primarily, in the sense of, you know, most people these days will watch a lot of YouTube rather than watching television. Whereas before, television was a primary source of information for a person, the same as, you know, what happened with television over radio and yada yada. There's still a place for it. I'm not saying there's not, but it's becoming more of a primary way of interacting. You know, Facebook now has got something like 2.5 billion users. And the question is, there's two sides to the argument. So you've got this side of says, well, you know, these people who use the platform, because of the way the platform is built and because of the way it's been integrated in all our lives, have a right to make sure that free speech is maintained. But you have the other side of the argument, which says, well, these are private companies, these are private entities, and, you know, if they don't want that sort of speech on their platform, then shouldn't they actually have the right not to have it on their platform? And I suppose it does create a very interesting, take out the sort of conspiracy sort of side of it aside, just that sort of side of it you can see, because they are trying to say that, you know, it was because of obviously Jones's conduct and because he breached their guidelines. But you look at people like Richie Allen and other people like that of that ilk. Now, there's nothing on. I would probably say that Richie Allen's work is very balanced. I would say that, yes, he does have some beliefs that, you know, not a lot of people will not agree with, but he does allow people on his show to you know, give their viewpoint, of which, and this is the thing that gets me. It's the old sort of grandparents sat there watching BBC One and getting offended by a comedy, when there's a remote control next to you and you say, if you get offended by it, just change the channel. There's plenty to choose from. But people just can't tend to get this real sort of stuck in a thing of, oh no, I must do something about this, because whereas being offended by something is a choice. It is a choice. You a choice whether you get offended by something or not. I don't personally like Alex Jones. I think that, you know, I have learned some things, especially probably, you know, the pre-Trump years. I did learn quite a bit, but I didn't sort of go and take his word as gospel. I took opposing viewpoints. I did my own research. Now, I've noticed with Jones, he doesn't turn around and say that thing that, you know, most credible researchers in this field will tell you. Do not do your own research. Do not take my word for it. Do your own research. You know, people like people like Ian R. Crane, for example. You know, with the activities he's been doing with the anti-fracking campaigns in the UK, is getting a hell of a ride off Facebook. And, you know, I can't see any way in which Crane is actually breaching these sorts of rules and regulations that have been set down by. So there is a bit of an arbitrary, sort of they are sort of being arbitrarily judge, jury, and executioner, and I think that they are not helping matters. And I do believe that we are giving these entities, these companies, far too much power, and I think that this is something that we are being conditioned, whether it is a process that has been instigated by someone, or it is just basically human laziness, where we can sort of, you know, go on Facebook rather than actually go and meet up with someone. Or do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's the old social media argument of it being empowering and disempowering at the same time. Like, I have family members and friends now that noticed there was a big change with me with Facebook, because I used to post everything on it. It was one of those people I'd post if I was, you know, what I felt about this, what I felt about that, what I was doing, blah 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 blah. keep a kind of diary, I suppose, on Facebook. And then, I realized, hang on, where's that information going? Who's accessing that information that I meant to be aware of? I completely and utterly drew away from it. But on the flip side, I always remember my father, after he had his heart transplant, he was very much empowered by Facebook, because it was a way of, my father was very social, but obviously didn't have the means or ability at the time to go and do the things that he wanted. He wasn't social as in go out down the pub social in later sort of life, but he liked people. He liked talking to people.
Yeah.
He liked, do you know what I mean? And
Well,
that created that outlet for him.
Well, the thing is, these people who own these giant social media enterprises, they're changing their circle, right? They've created so much money, they become part of a circle.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I feel. And that circle they sort of like become part of is corrupt, and it's greedy.
Yes.
And it's dark. And as you can see, it corrupts. It does. It genuinely does. It absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yes.
So, I mean, the thing is, this information on the internet, which we have found and we have shared over the years, which is undeniable.
Yes.
And once upon a time, man, people like Alex Jones did sort of they got close to the truth of things. But then is the way he changed, the way when InfoWars come out and it becomes something, and the way he did, like, he sent his news reporters out to do like talks with people and belittle them and antagonize them and stuff like that. That never will help the situation. It will always create a divide. So when I saw this, when he saw he was creating a divide, which there was a divide before he created it, right? I'm not disputing that, but you add into the divide, and it's just to make this all work, that divide has to be broken. It has to be.
Yes.
You have to sit and talk and discuss and why you feel the way you do and why you see the world the way it is, and to just to go belittle someone and make them look ignorant and stupid and mindless and everything else, which he does on a regular basis.
Yeah,
that just adds fuel to the fire.
He's no different to Fox News in that sort of sense.
No,
is he?
He's doing exactly the same as they're doing. There we are. He's doing exactly the same as they're doing.
Just from a different side.
Just from a different point of view.
Yeah.
It's so he's lost. He's lost the fight, and now this is happening to him, and he's got his app and everything else he's doing with his products and God knows what, and he's just become a joke. In the future, Alex Jones will be known as a joke. It will be all the things he's achieved and all the things he was trying to go for. I don't know what was on his agenda. It will just be a farce.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, if YouTube and Google, which they did in Beijing, I mean, Google promised the leader of Beijing when they did the Olympics that they wouldn't show the people standing in front of the tanks. So in that instant, Google became corrupt.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't show. It's freedom. It's the freedom of speech. It's our right to view the world however we see fit. And if that view or that freedom is in what's the word, approached at any level, we've lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've lost the fight. The fight has been destroyed. So I talk about things and people look at me sometimes like I'm mental. I talk about 9/11. Right, for example, and Alex Jones has covered it. Just for the simple fact, with 9/11, that 9 or 12 or whatever many men it was, took over 4 planes, flew them across American airspace, and did what they did, right, with box cutters or whatever it was they were supposed to have done it with, right, to think of the country that leads the world in arms, thinking how to protect itself, right? They are the world runners in selling arms. Their economy is built on weapons that kill people.
Yeah.
Right? And to think that the cause of that caused a war, right? Everything, our own Prime Minister, with Tony Blair, lied about weapons. It's come up so many times. The lies upon lies upon lies and upon lies. And then one person, like Trump, for instance.
Rich, stop there. Rich, stop there. Did you?
Right.
Is there someone out the street behind you or anything? Could you hear anything in the house then?
Yeah, there's kids walking past the window. The soundproofing in this house is diabolical, so I do apologise.
No, it's just the fact I just heard someone speak, and I want to make sure it was that there was an actual, because we have had it. We've done these conversations, and we've had
EVPs. I know.
Yeah, we have had EVPs, so I just wanted to make sure it wasn't actually an EVP, and it was,
No, it's kids walking past. The sound, like I said, the soundproofing's not very good on the front.
Yeah.
So I mean, all the lies that's ever happened have come to fruition. So where do you believe? Where does it come to a point where you believe? You just have to believe the lies because there is no alternative.
Yeah.
So I mean, if all this is true, if all these things are true, if our government has lied so much, and they have really sort of secret organizations, and they have apps and social media that uses your information, censors you and blocks you and does this, then you've got to think. It's time to think. Wake up and think, well, I'm being properly dumbed down. Everything I want to believe in is being taken out of my hands. Everything, the truth that I see is being diluted and taken away from me. Right? There's only one reason why the truth would be taken away from you. It's because the lie is more powerful, and the lie gives people power.
Well, it's the opposite round. The lie takes your power away from you.
Yeah, and it gives them power. That's what this lie is doing.
It disempowers you, because what it's doing, it's saying that you have no power. You have given your power to your representative or whatever. Essentially, it's any terms and conditions really. Like, who reads the terms and conditions of something like Facebook? I haven't got a clue. But like, I remember looking at.
I do. I did a couple of times. When it come up on my like if somebody tagged me in something that was referencing to something, I normally go and check it, and it's quite shocking.
Yeah,
it's quite shocking that the levels of what's written there is basically just giving away your freedom.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's sort of like supersedes your right to anything. They can use you for anything.
Yeah, it's giving away your God-given right as a person in a sense.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. It's like
if that's the truth, if that's the case, if they can take away, they're saying, oh look, you waiver your right to be private, be censored, keep personal information. We can use all of this stuff as we see fit. Then the system itself is corrupt.
Yeah.
Because why would they want to do that? Why would they want to use your information? Why would they want to use your image? Why would they want to pry into your private conversations if what you were talking about wasn't detrimental to them?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I mean, it's a dark thing. It's a dark thing. These times where they're censoring everything, and the more we put information out there, like I just said, I talked about 9/11, and people look at me like I've got two heads. And I believe it in all my heart that it was not done for the way they say it was done, which is like the 9/11. Everything, the whole caboose of it. If you look at each step, point by point by point, it's just the biggest thing in the world. And if that is achievable, and if that is something if that is an atrocity these people will commit, then all this is true.
People like Alex Jones are not going to solve the problems. If anything, as you said, they're going to create more problems. Because you can't view this as a war, and this is the thing that gets to me. You cannot view this as a war, because it's a struggle, yes, but the war is inside each and every one of us, between the person that we think we are and the infinite consciousness, or the consciousness that we actually are. And I think that is You know, that's something that needs to be kind of factored into the process. And I I really don't think that anything that Jones has really got to say about these sorts of things is going, unless you approach that side of it, you're just going to constantly come up against so many problems.
Yeah. There's too much. There's too many people now jumping on the bandwagon, and like you said, of this awakening, according to woke or something. I mean, it's not about waking up and being just in your own awareness. It's about waking up to the way we live our lives collectively.
Yes.
And when things like that happen, it's just, like I said, bringing the divide.
Yeah.
So if anything that brings the divide, if anything that doesn't bring us together collectively is a lie, it's false.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the Antichrist, if you like. It's like whatever you think that purpose is, it's not. It's the opposite. So same with, it's like the videos they show on YouTube. It's like I was watching Speaker's Corner in London. I told you, Jay, I was watching the two sides of like Christians and Muslims having debates on their religion.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated to watch. It fascinated me that divide. It's like all that. I mean, there's a couple of good, famous people that's doing it now, and they're really intelligent people.
Yeah.
Right? Because they've been well educated and they're articulate and everything else, and they're speaking about something they believe with all their heart.
Yes.
But if they could just see that divide, if they could just see that divides them so much, then anything that is not meant to bring us together, which it doesn't,
Yeah.
is false.
One of the best lessons for this, right, for me, was earlier this year when we did the Now Investigations live, the last Now Investigations live that we did, and I couldn't speak. And I said, you were trying to read the chat and you were having trouble because you had dyslexia, right?
Yeah.
And I was getting frustrated because I could see you were getting frustrated, and I could see that that we were having a slight issue. And I just, in frustration, said, fucking hell, if I get to talk, I'd have got this done already. And you took that as an affront on you. And you took it as, well, hang on, you know I've got dyslexia. You know this is an issue I deal with. Why the fuck did you say that? And it proper upset you.
Yeah,
and then when you told me the next day, I was completely oblivious because I was not thinking about how that remark would affect you. I was more thinking, I'm so frustrated the fact I can't speak and it's hurting me to talk. We've put this event in place, and how dare my voice just pack up on me. That I didn't realise I've been on the other side of that plenty of times with my visual impairment, where I frustrated someone because I can't see something or I'm struggling with something, and then so I've had a lot of that lately in my life personally, where I'm being put on the other side of the coin, where I may have had experiences where I thought, well, I can't do this because such and such, this such and such fear, or this such and such frustration, and blah, 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 blah. And suddenly I'm being put into situations where I'm having to look at the other person's point of view and realize that they share the same things that I do, but just for different reasons. And it's like, we don't really address it in our social circles. Like, we might, like, God, how many times you left me on location without a torch? I was fumbling around in the dark. I'm like, where the hell have you gone? And you're like,
how many times have you heard, Rich? Like, in the background, I've been like, Jazz? I'm like, doing some creepy castle or somewhere. Well, this is the thing, though. This is the thing. Now, it is something that I've gone through all my life with prejudice towards my dyslexia.
Yeah.
And it's been a battle, and it's held me back all my life. It's really held me back, and it is a massive issue for me. And at the time, I was so upset. And I told you, the next day, I just got over it. Right? It just was like, it was one of them things. I took it bad. It's done. I love Jazz. We are best mates. It's one of them things. It's just one of them things that's said without thinking, and and I've done the same to you, and I've done the same to my friends, and I've had it done to me before. And it's moving. If we can move past things like that, which we did, and you can just see that it's, you know, a momentary thing that you just said on happenstance, and it's nothing. It isn't. I didn't die from it. I wasn't. My life wasn't changed irrefutably.
It's more the point that we have the same fears and the same same programming. It's the programming. It's the same programming at work, but just from different perspectives. And this is kind of like that was the thing. It's like it's the same sort of blocks that stop us from being sort of who we are. And I think this is the thing. Unless you address that issue, and I think this is probably where I would look at people like Ian Crane and people like David Icke before I look at Alex Jones, because at the end of the day, they come from that place of you have to look at yourself and what you were identifying with and who you were identifying yourself with.
Yeah.
That before you can even attempt to look at the state of, you know, how our world is, because you know, and that's the process, because it's not a very easy process. Anyone that says that going through the awakening is an easy process has not gone through the process.
No.
It's as simple as that.
There's all this stuff happening in the world, right? There's wars and rumours of wars, and there's stuff being taken out of our hands, and genuinely now they use chemicals on our food when it's actually better for us not to use the chemicals, but lots of people lose money. If they don't use the chemicals, they don't need to. There'll still be enough food produced for us without the chemicals, without all the bullshit. That's just nature. Nature finds a way. So if that's true, if they're willing to sacrifice us like that, there's all these things going on around us. But the real war is within us.
Absolutely.
It's a personal one, and it's with the person across the road. It's with somebody in work that says something you didn't like. Or it's with a mate that's being a bit of a tit, or it's with that's the same. It's the same content. It's the same thing. If you can, when you combat all them things that happen to you directly, when you look inwardly and think, well, that doesn't really. Why do I let them things bother me? What is it that makes me unhappy around me, right next to me? Once you start to deal with them issues, then you move beyond that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you move to the next step, on the next step, until we get to the point where we're on the top step, and then where all this is done en masse, where it's made lives, it's changing lives en masse, then we can deal with them issues.
Yeah,
but that's what the awakening is. The first step is you. You're the first step of the awakening. Once you look inwardly, then you can look at outwardly. Yeah. And so people saying that, you know, having a label on it is taking something. It's like it's going to be a trend to be awakened. You know what I mean? It's be like a hippie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's
we
going
are the awakened
to
ones of the 21st century. And, you know, they'll look back on us in 20 years' time and make films where we all walked around as, I don't know.
I feel like I'm
stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty awake. Right, this is what I feel. Right, I feel like I'm pretty awake, and I'm not saying all my views are right.
No.
Right, and I'm not saying all the things I believe are right.
Yeah.
But if you put me in front of the world, just for example, if you put me in front of the world and I had a chance to speak to the world, they wouldn't like what I'd say. Yeah. They wouldn't, because they did it. That's what the awakening means. It's facing the truth of you.
Exactly, and
it's not the best.
It's a process, because you go through that process and you might be fine for a couple of years, and then you'll come to the next bit, and that will then come and hit you, and you'll be like, why do I feel like I'm back at square one again? It's like, no, it's the fact you want to move on to the next place that you want to be, and so you have to. It's the same process, but it's different each time. Because
for me, I would hold a mirror up to the world, and I don't think the world would like what it sees. Yeah. And that would be my first port of call in creating the awakening. That would be the first step I would make. I would show, like I said, show the world a mirror, take a look. See what looks back. How do you feel about what's looking back at you? Yeah. And analyse it, and judge it, and help it, and nurture it, and change
Plant
it
the
if it
seed
needs
and let it
changing.
grow.
Yeah, that's it. And I don't think YouTube can achieve it, right? I don't think any of these channels can achieve it because they does seem to be they are very slipping a very slippery slope. They are
Absolutely,
really
yeah.
going. They are really going somewhere, and so we have to do it face to face.
Yeah.
We have to do it. We have to become more social and sharing opinions and looking at somebody else's opinion completely non-judgmental and just listening to what and then thinking to yourself, working out in your head what makes that person feel that way. And if even if they can't explain it and they can't articulate it, if we
Yeah.
can just take a little snippet of that, you'll realize the things, the reason we do the things we do, and it's
I think
I
you
don't know.
realise that person is not that much different to you. It doesn't matter whether
Mm,
they come from a different
we're,
religious background or a
we're all
different.
mirrors.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We really are. It's just it's just the journey we've been on in life makes us a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, we're all going to the same place. So why not speak on the journey?
Yeah.
So
So
why I
do
don't know.
you think then that it's what side of the argument are you on with regards to Alex Jones and with regards to Facebook? Because I feel they're both as bad as each other.
Facebook, unbelievable. Facebook is a funny thing. I gotta be honest. It really is. It's the mentality of people. It's like share this with they kill me. Share this with 30 people, right? To show your support. It's the same thing as like, you buy like that news reporter, that funny guy on YouTube, he's on about buying a rainbow coloured cup because you could support gay people,
Yeah.
right? It puts a gimmick on a real issue that people have suffered and died for.
Yeah,
It turns
absolutely.
into a gimmick. It makes their suffering a joke.
Yeah.
And it's like oh, say a prayer, oh, these things on Facebook. There's just one example of the mindlessness of Facebook. And that's what they send. It puts a post up saying, say a prayer for this person, right? Say amen for this person, right? Now, I know the power of collective prayer, real prayer, right? Genuine prayer. When you focus your attention on a person, typing amen on Facebook is not going to save that person. It's not a collective thought. It's not sending all the energy that has been bestowed upon you by the creation of the universe, all matter and energy. Is going to save that person by typing amen on Facebook. I do have rants on it, as you know. I've had some severe rants with people, and it's if you want to if you say put your hands together and say, universe, me, my energy, my love, my friends' love, the powers that I have given to me, whether I believe them or not, I ask them to be sent to this person to heal them. Did that collectively, put that on Facebook, and we all did it together. I'd be impressed. That would probably save that person. I'm not saying it would, but it probably could because it's never been done. So that's where you have the issues. That adds to the mindlessness. That adds to the de-awakening, if you like, to the suppression of us.
Yeah.
It's and it's just the whole caboose of it. Like it's just the whole thing. It's like anonymous. That's becoming a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah.
What it stood for originally has been it's been tainted. It's been tainted, and it's not us. We don't have to get up. We're not supposed to get up, gather as many weapons as we can, go out the door and beat anyone that's ever oppressed us, or anyone that wears a suit or drives a posh car to work or works in an office or corrupts us. It doesn't mean it's not nothing to do with that. It's making them see, which is a very hard thing to do. Is if we come together and say, no, this is not happening anymore. And until it does, We're not doing anything. We're just going to help. I'm going to help you. You're going to help me. I'm going to help him. He's going to help me. I'm going to help her. She's going to help me. And we're all going to help each other in whatever way we best can. We'll struggle through that and fight through that so nobody else has to suffer. Then we'll win.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we have to do.
Yeah.
Just say no. Enough's enough. We've had enough. We don't want anymore. We don't want your government. We don't want your leaders. We don't want your bullshit. We don't want you to have the money. We don't want you to strive to destroy us. We want you gone, and we'll put people in power because they've earned it, because of the way they've lived their lives, because of the way they stand in society, because of just their general demeanour. They get to do that thing. They get to watch over the things that govern all of us.
Yeah.
And that's how we make the world a better place, just that simple change. And it's only just an action. Probably do it in 4 weeks. You stop doing everything for a month, but it will change. One month for a lifetime, like.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
So
that's my point on it.
Final word on the Alex Jones situation, then.
Don't buy his app. Don't download his app. It's not free. Ask him, if all of you who are going to watch this, ask your mates and ask your friends to ask him a question constantly, saying, what about this? Question the things he's doing. Question the things the person he's becoming. And so he has to answer to him, because that's all he's getting, right? That's all he will get is questions that question what his motives. And that might change. That will change it. Otherwise, you're just becoming a consumer.
We're just becoming a brand in his own right, which is, it's fine, you know, again, becoming a brand, but, you know, a brand that stands for for Alex Jones and nothing else, really.
He has. It does seem like he has a bit of an Oedipus complex for himself. Alex Jones, I gotta be honest. He does. I think he loves himself being on telly and stuff, and yeah, and that's about all I have to say. I've quite a bit to say on him, but it's all not. It's kind of neg, because he's sort of, I feel, let down. And like I said, once upon a time, I thought he was going to be something to behold. And not anymore, I don't. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Everything I've seen has just led me down that road in thinking about the way he's going about things. I'm trying, you know, I don't know what else to say on it. I don't know what else I can go on, and that's how I feel. I can't change the way I feel about it. So, and I hope he does. He's in a position, this is the worst thing, he's in a position where he could be legend. He could be, like, literally put on his pedestal in the future for such the right reasons. He has that much power in his hands, right? To literally change the world, start the ball rolling. And he's just, no, he's using to have, like, I don't know, he's more interested in making money on products. So,
right, well, thank you very much for that. Guys, we have posted some new articles on the website, and we will be linking a Facebook community group to the Facebook page, so you guys will be able to come join us and join the discussions on there. Martin has set up a new Instagram page for Paranormal now as well, so we'll put the links for all this in the description below. We do aim to get back to making videos a bit more regularly. We have been having a lot of personal things going on lately, and we're going to be adding some new services to the website as well that will perhaps be of benefit to some of you guys. Rich, thanks for joining me tonight on the Now Debate.
always a troll, but it was
we've got another new video that's either going to be coming out now, after this one, or just before it, where we've got some really, really good footage of spirits that appear on camera. I'd also like to thank you guys for your kind comments for the film that I'm producing, Brothers Between Worlds, which we're looking to hopefully get done shooting by the end of mid to late September, so we can hopefully get it out by October time. So it's going to be interesting. There is going to be a lot more to come. We are just laying the foundations at the moment, guys, so please bear with us, and we will speak to you again very, very soon. Take care.
Take care, guys. Love and light.